tonight on Denver 7 News at 6.
I'm 2 weeks behind payment right now.
Coloradans are collateral damage in a crackdown on unemployment fraud.
It took me about 6 weeks of calling the line every day.
Supply of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine plummets.
Denver enjoys its last sunny day for some time.
This is something I think in Pueblo we've been talking about for a number of years.
And a plan that's so often gone off the rails gets back on track.
It'll be good jobs for people, cleaner ways to travel. I think it's a great idea.
The Colorado Department of Labor has lost a fortune to fraud.
And everyday people are paying for it. The latest unemployment benefit system is a tangled web of red tape capable of snaring con artists and qualified applicants alike.
It's a program that may be causing as many problems as it solves, and the subject of tonight's top story. Here's Gary Brode.
You click on to verify your ID. It says an ID Me Trusted referee is available now to assist you.
This Erie man who asked that we not use his name is locked out of unemployment.
Then you click Meet Now, and then it doesn't meet with the referee. It says estimated wait time 5 hours. And it does it over and over and over.
Making matters worse, he can't connect with anyone who can fix it.
After 5 hours, it goes, "Are you ready to meet?" You go yes, and then you go. It sends you that text to your phone. You put it in, and this pops up every time.
He says the issue started 2 weeks ago when the state required those already on unemployment to use an identification system called ID.me. The goal is to crack down on unemployment fraud.
You get a feeling of emptiness, not knowing what's going on.
The Colorado Department of Labor and Employment says there's been more than 1.1 million fraudulent unemployment claims since the pandemic began. Connor, who asked we only use his first name, was one of those victims.
Back in November 2020, I had some identity theft issues. I guess the guy submitted like hundreds of false gig work hours in my name.
As a result, he too has been locked out and hasn't received unemployment since November.
Between dealing with unemployment and dealing with the identity theft stuff, it's more than a full-time job. It's 8 to 10 hours a day trying to get this resolved.
CDLE tells me they have more than 50 triggers that will place holds on claims that appear fraudulent. The state is sending emails to groups of claimants in waves in order to not overload the system. Both men say they don't want to wait for that email and would prefer a more direct line.
6 weeks just to get a callback scheduled for April 22nd. And I'm really hoping that they handle it at that point.
Gary Brode, Denver 7.
And flawed system aside, hundreds of thousands of Coloradans have and will fall victim of unemployment fraud. Contact Denver 7's Jason Grenauer tonight on what to do if you are one of them.
Over the course of the last year, there have been over 1 million cases of unemployment benefits in our state flagged for possible fraud. In many cases, it's someone like you or me finding out that we've applied for benefits when we never did. It happened to one of our producers. She got a letter from the state saying thanks for applying for unemployment benefits. She never did. So if you find yourself in that situation where someone filed for benefits using your name and information, here's the list of things to do. Report it to the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment. That's right there on their website under Unemployment, Report Fraud. Contact your employer. Let them know you did not report a claim. But you should go even further. Freeze your credit and file your taxes if you haven't already, because scammers won't just try one avenue to get your money using your name.
They will make every effort to monetize your identity credentials across every platform and silo that they can. So reducing your whole risk surface is really important because you know that someone is actively misusing them.
That's from the Identity Theft Resource Center, a nonprofit that's seen a spike in this kind of fraud nationally. And yes, unfortunately, it is the victim that has to do the work to clean up the mess.
It is one of the few crimes where the responsibility is completely on the victim, and they have to go to multiple agencies, organizations in order to unwind it and report it. And there isn't one universal process for everything.
Something new coming from the Colorado State Labor Office. If you filed a fraud report with them, you will be getting a letter from them confirming that you filled out that complaint. It's basically a receipt, but it doesn't mean you have to take any additional action with the state if you've checked all of those boxes on that list already. I'm Jason Grenauer.
If you are having a problem filing for unemployment benefits, we want to hear from you.
Include details of where you're having trouble, how long you've been trying to address the issue, and how we can reach you. Our email is contact7@thedenverchannel.com. You can also leave a voicemail at the number right there on your screen. All right, to the weather now, and what should be a sopping, sometimes snowy mess of a week. Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson is here with details. Mike.
We'll smile our way through it, though, anyway. And there were some places that had a nice day in Colorado today. 68 at Grand Junction, Salida at 64. Even Eagle had a high of 60. But look at the chill on the eastern plains. Now 41 degrees in Denver. It's 35 at Cheyenne and 33 at Laramie. Skies are cloudy here. There's some sunshine over western and central Colorado. The clouds don't have much moisture in them yet, but it's going to change. There's some really chilly air to the north of us. A couple of upper air disturbances are going to come our way, and the upshot is it's going to be a rather disappointing week as far as the weather's concerned. We'll have showers and some rain mixed with snow coming up, and it's just going to linger that way right on through Friday and even into Saturday. We need the moisture, but it's not going to be a very pleasant week, and we'll just have to put up with it.
Yes, we will. Now, we love spending time with you at 4, 5, 6, 8, and 10 o'clock, but you really don't have to wait on us for the weather. The weather stream is going 24/7 on thedenverchannel.com. You can watch it on the app or through Roku or Amazon Fire Stick as well.
900 cases of coronavirus reported in Colorado today, and tonight 470 people are in the hospital with suspected or confirmed cases. Also, 7 more deaths were reported this afternoon, so now 6,300 Coloradans have died to date.
Colorado expects to receive 288,000 doses of vaccine this week. The lion's share will be from Moderna and Pfizer. Because of the mix-up in Baltimore, Johnson & Johnson's only able to send 9,000 doses right now. J&J delivered 85,000 doses to Colorado last week.
Well, for the first time in a long time, a week has come and gone without Denver businesses being cited for COVID safety violations. 79 citations have been handed out this year. The last one was on April 2nd.
Several people aboard the United Airlines flight that lost an engine over Broomfield have retained legal counsel. Early findings by the NTSB show the fan blade was fractured, likely because of wear and tear. A complete investigation could take a year or longer.
At least one person has been arrested in a deadly shooting on South Parker Road. Denver police say it happened overnight near Quebec. Neither the suspect nor the victim's name has been released. A 49-year-old Patrick Layden has been arrested on suspicion of vehicular homicide following a crash that killed a man and critically injured a child on Saturday. Denver police say Layden was speeding when he ran a red light at Lowell and 32nd and smashed into a car driving through the intersection. The driver was killed. 7 other vehicles were damaged.
Carter Lake was closed again today as teams searched for a missing Loveland man. Larimer County deputies discovered the 31-year-old's kayak on Sunday afternoon. His dog was found wearing floats and was pulled from the water unharmed. The kayaker has not been found. Elbert County deputies are looking for the people who vandalized a church just outside of Elizabeth. Now, you really can't tell it from the street, but we're told a window was smashed. There's some graffiti inside, and the guys responsible unplugged the security cameras but failed to realize, there they are, that they'd already been recorded.
A bill requiring gun owners and sellers to lock up their firearms cleared the state Senate today, and it's on its way to becoming law. Dealers must also provide a locking device with each gun sold, or they could face a fine of up to $500.
Oh, what a difference $80 billion makes. Amtrak stands to receive a whole lot of money from the federal government, some of which could be used to build a rail line that runs from Cheyenne to Pueblo. Denver7's Ivan Rodriguez has a story.
Ditch the car and I-25 traffic and ride the rail instead.
I think it would be better for the environment, fewer accidents, less congestion on the road, relaxing. I think the rail is a really relaxing way to travel.
It's an idea we've heard before, but Amtrak's Front Range Rail has never gotten past early planning. Now it's back on. Amtrak released this map showing the plan for Colorado as part of its $80 billion in Biden's infrastructure plan. The new line would include stops in Pueblo, Colorado Springs, Denver, Fort Collins, and Cheyenne.
Not only would the traveling public benefit from those services, but overall, it will create jobs, improve quality of life, reduce carbon emissions, and generate economic growth.
Commuters like Janet Kippina say the prospect could change her life.
If I could actually live in Colorado Springs and then work in Denver, that would be the best of both worlds, so then that way you're getting out of the city and enjoying a slower pace of life when you're at home, but then still having the benefits of the jobs in Denver that pay more.
Pueblo Mayor Nick Gradisar sees dollar signs of his own, giving his city an economic boost and something for future generations to enjoy.
Look what our ancestors left us in terms of infrastructure. And I think we owe an obligation to future generations, to our children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren, to try to match what our ancestors did for us.
There are a lot of questions still, including when. Amtrak says the line could take 15 years to complete.
Let's face it, Colorado is a phenomenal place to live. I came out here for a vacation 30 years ago and never left.
And with more people moving to Colorado, the question is if this could be the future of travel. Ivan Rodriguez, Denver7.
Coming up, out of the frying pan
We had put our blood, sweat, and tears into that restaurant.
and into the fire.
We've never been one to give up on anything.
Get Denver 7 news updates on your Alexa-enabled device. Add the Denver 7 news skill in the Alexa app, then say, "Alexa, what's my flash briefing?"